So the championship campaign is just a couple of weeks away, and in this video we're going to be looking through all 24 teams promoted and relegated, whether that be from League One or the Premier League. We're going to be looking into all of it. We're going to be looking into the incoming transfers, the players that have left each club, and we're going to be making some brief previews of each team and where they could be heading this upcoming season. Tomorrow we're going to have a video out of my championship predictions, where I think everybody's going to finish and why I believe that to be the case. So if you are interested in watching that video and you are interested in other content that I've got going on my channel, like I've done Derby County transfer target videos, as well as a range of other things and a lot of others that is going to come over the course of this season, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below or in this top corner to stay tuned for all of my latest Derby County, EFL Championship and League One game previews and reviews that are going to be coming up over the course of the season. So make sure you smash that subscribe button. But shall we get into it? So we're doing this in alphabetical order, and we're going to be looking first up at Blackburn Rovers. Now they're managed by John Eustace, who was really unlucky last season to lose his job with Birmingham City after the ownership takeover. He got replaced by Wayne Rooney, and ultimately Birmingham City ended up getting relegated. Now John Eustace went into Blackburn Rovers and kept the team in the Championship. They play at Ewood Park and they have an average age of 24 years old, with 25 players as per Transfer Market. All the transfers and everything I've got on here is from either Transfer Market or SofaScore. So if you want to go and check those apps out, make sure you do. So last season, they finished in 19th place. It was really tight down at the bottom end of the Championship last year. And Blackburn were one of the teams who really got themselves out of trouble with one incredible player, and that is Sammy Szmodics. 53 points they scored, 14 wins, 11 draws, 21 losses, 60 goals scored, 74 conceded. Now, John Eustace, as previous of overachieving with poor squads, in my opinion, that's what he was doing with Birmingham City up until he got sacked, and I think he's going to have to do that again this season. Now, if we do just briefly look at the incomings, so far it's only two fairly young players and probably not going to be starters. I believe they paid 120k for one of these players. I believe it's the top one, Odahan Doherty, and obviously they've brought in Jack Barrett. Now we go over to the outgoings, and obviously there's still a long time to go in the transfer window, and as you can see, they've lost Leopold Waldstedt for £1 million to Aarhus GF over in Denmark. They've lost Semir Talokovic to whatever that team is, SSV ULM 1846 in the second Bundesliga. John Fleck has left at the end of his contract, and so has Kyle McFadzean. Now, there is still one big outgoing which has not yet happened. Sammy Szmodics, obviously, such an impressive campaign last year. If I remember rightly, he ended the season with Golden Boot in the Championship. But he looks to be heading to Ipswich. Now, there's a lot of talks going on between those two clubs and a range of other clubs as well, because Sammy Szmodics is dying for that Premier League move. And it's just one of those that seems to be dragging on, and the longer it drags on, the harder it is for Blackburn Rovers to rebuild and rejuvenate their squad. As we saw in the previous slide, only two incomings. If we just bring that back up now, only two incomings on this day. At the moment, we're on the 28th of July. Obviously, I think the transfer window closes on the 1st or 2nd of September. So there's still over a month to go to bring in some better players. But I think at the moment, Blackburn are going to be heading down struggle street in the Championship. And I do think they're going to be facing an uphill struggle to stay in the league. Now, next up, we're going to talk about Bristol City. Now, last season, they finished in 11th place after poaching manager Liam Manning from Oxford United. They play at Ashton Gate, have an average age of 24.6 through 27 players. Last season they finished in 11th place, 62 points, 17 wins, 11 draws, 18 losses, 53 goals scored, 51 goals conceded. Made an abundance of changes to their squad over the course of last summer, bringing in the players like Jason Knight from Derby County, who really added a new element to Liam Manning's squad, although it wasn't a Liam Manning transfer, I don't believe. No, it wasn't. It wasn't a Liam Manning transfer. But then Bristol City went back to Derby County and picked up Max Bird as well, who should be an excellent addition for them at the Championship level. But if we do look at the rest of the incomings at Bristol City, Max Bird does not appear, as the deal was agreed back in January, I believe. Rumoured to be in between the fee of £1 to £2 million, and obviously went back to Derby County on loan. Now, they've bought in Fali Amelu from Rapid Vienna for £3.5 million as per Transfer Market. 21-year-old centre-forward, can't really say I know a great deal about him, but I'd assume at 21 years old, he's probably got bags of potential. Dual nationality as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that one goes. Obviously, they've also brought in Sinclair Armstrong from QPR. I mentioned him a couple of videos ago, but I called him Jerome Sinclair for some reason. Absolutely no idea. There's got to be a player out there called Jerome Sinclair who I got him mixed up with. Now, Sinclair Armstrong, I personally do not understand how he's cost the money he's cost. Hasn't looked very clinical so far in his short career. Obviously only 21 years old, but who knows, that could change this season. They've also brought in right winger Yu Hirakawa from the Japanese league on loan. Another young player, 23 years old. It's going to be really interesting to see how their squad does develop over the course of this season. I do think they're going to be sort of that mid-table area again. And if we look at the outgoings, they've lost a couple of players out on loan, which obviously development loans, 17 years old and 19. They've also let go of Harvey Wiles-Richards. Now, I believe he does TikToks on his career, so it would be interesting to see how that move came about. Maybe he's discussed it on a video on there, but who knows. It's not someone that I really keep up to date with. Now, they've also lost Andreas Weimann. I believe he spent the second half of last season at West Bromwich Albion anyway, so it's not really a massive loss. Matty James, 32, he's left. Andy King retired. Duncan Idehen, 21 years old, without a club, and another player going out on loan. Now, I think you can tell by the players they're letting go of that they're trying to reduce their average age. Now, if we do go back to their squad average age at the moment, it's 24.6 years old. It'll be interesting to see what that is come the end of the transfer window. Now, let's get into the next team. Burnley are the next team on the list. Now, somehow, someway, Vincent Kompany got headhunted to go and manage at Bayern Munich. He was also on the shortlist to go and join Chelsea. How? I do not know, because he had an awful season in the Premier League. Now, the squad average age at the moment is 24.9 years old with 36 players. They finished 19th in the Premier League last season with 24 points, 5 wins, 9 draws and 24 losses. 41 goals scored, 78 goals conceded. A lot of people are a bit up in the air about Scott Parker, but I think he's really proven at Championship level. I think he's got 2 promotions to his name, maybe 3 at this point. And I do think he's a very, very good Championship manager. I just don't think he can make that step up to the Premier League. Now, he has been around Europe. I believe he was at Club Bruges for a while as well. It's going to be interesting to see how his management style has developed over the course of the last few years. And if we do take a look at Burnley's incoming transfers, there's been quite a few, and they've spent quite a chunk of money. Mike Trésor, 25 years old, left winger from Genk over in Belgium, £18 million. Maxime Esteve, 22 years old, from Montpellier, centre-half, £12 million. Andreas Not even going to try and pronounce that second name. Centre forward, 22 years old, from SMKN in Liga 2. And £4 million. Lucas Pires has joined from Santos in Brazil for £2.3 million. The 23-year-old left back. Now, they've also brought in 2 free transfers. Vaclav Heldraki from Ipswich Town, goalkeeper, was of interest to a whole host of different clubs this off-season after leaving Ipswich. Sharandi Shambo, the right back from PSV Eindhoven, has also joined on a free transfer. Now, if we do take a quick look at the outgoings, they've lost Muric to Ipswich. He's gone for £9.5 million. Bailey Peacock-Farrell finds his way to Birmingham City for £530,000. Charlie Taylor has moved on a free transfer to Southampton. Lawrence Vigouroux, maybe, has gone to Swansea. And Jack Cork, 35-year-old midfielder, is without a club and left on a free transfer. Now, I quite like what Burnley are doing this off-season, but I can't go past putting them in that top 6. Obviously, my predictions video will be out tomorrow. If you want to go and check that out, make sure you do go and do that. It's going to be very interesting for a lot of these clubs. I've not really put together my predictions yet. I'm going to do that after I've recorded this video to get that one out for you on Tuesday. So make sure you have hit that subscribe button. But this Burnley side is going to be very, very interesting to see. Are they going to go back to their possessional roots of what they started under Vincent Kompany, or is Scott Parker going to play a completely different style? Now, Cardiff City, Errol Bullitt is the manager. Now, there was a lot of talk over this off-season, and I know because we were waiting for news on Ibu Adams at Derby County of who their manager was going to be at Cardiff City. And they stuck by the manager that closed out last season. They play at the Cardiff City Stadium with 21.6 average age. 26.1 through 28 players. They finished 12th in the league last season on 62 points. You'll notice that a lot of teams finished between that 66 and 60 point mark last season, which I think was very, very interesting. 19 wins, 5 draws and 22 losses. 53 goals scored, 70 goals conceded for the Cardiff City outfit. Now, if we do go ahead and look at their incoming transfers, they've brought in Callum Chambers from Premier League Aston Villa. They've brought in Chris Willock from QPR on a free transfer, both of them. And then they've brought up a couple of players up from their under-21s. Not quite sure why Transfer Market has that listed, but just thought it's something that should be noted heading into the season. Now, if we do take a look at the outgoings now, the big one to talk about is Ibu Adams. Now, Ibu Adams left on loan in January to sort of help Derby to promotion and was an absolute revelation in midfield. Now, Derby County have been chasing him all off-season, and the rumoured initial fee is £500,000, despite it saying £1 million. But that fee could obviously rise with add-ons, appearances. I'm assuming there's a survival add-on in there as well for Cardiff City to make some extra money. They also let go of Ollie Denham, 22 years old. He headed to Sligo Rovers on a free transfer. Shea Ojo and Romain Sawyers are also without a club. The next team is Coventry City. Mark Robbins is still the manager at the Coventry Building Society Arena. He's done a really, really good job with this Coventry City side and have been really unlucky not to get promoted on a few occasions over recent years. They finished last season in 9th place with 64 points, 17 wins, 13 draws and 16 losses, 70 goals scored, 59 goals conceded. Now, if we look at their incomings to start off this season, they've brought in Jack Rudani, central midfielder from Huddersfield Town, for £6 million apparently, and that is a massive, massive fee. They've also brought in Lewis Binks, 22-year-old central defender from Bologna in Serie A, £2 million. They've brought in Oliver Dovin, 22-year-old goalkeeper from Hammarby in Sweden, for around £2 million. And they've also brought in Rafael Rodriguez from MacArthur in Australia. Here's a left winger. There's no quoted figure. Now, Swedish goalkeepers seem to be all the range because there's a lot of talk about Derby County potentially signing one, but that hasn't yet gone through. I think Coventry City are going to be in a really good place to put up another playoff hunt. Now, the big problem that they faced is losing Callum O'Hare, 26 years old. He's gone to Sheffield United on a free transfer. Lost a couple of other players like Liam Kelly. He's gone to Rotherham. Simon Moore's gone to Sunderland, and Matty Gooden has moved to Charlton. Now, they've got rid of some of their aging players, but they've also lost a key figure in Callum O'Hare. It's going to be really interesting to see how that one does develop over the course of the season. Obviously, he could be a really, really good signing for Sheffield United, and it's a big, big loss for Coventry City. I'm going to put Coventry City in that fight for the playoff picture when it comes to my predictions. So let me know where you think they'll finish down in the comments. I'm always intrigued to hear what you guys have to say, so let me know your thoughts down below. If you're enjoying this video and this is the sort of content you want to see on your YouTube channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell to stay tuned for all of my latest Derby County and EFL Championship and League One content that's heading your way. That's match reviews, match previews, and everything that goes in between. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Let me know your thoughts on this video and your club down in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next part of this video. Now we go on to Derby County, a promotion season last season, and one which some won't really get how bad it was at times to then how good it became towards the end. Obviously, their manager is Paul Warne. Obviously, if you haven't noticed already by the cap, by the flag in the background, I am a Derby County fan. There's going to be lots of videos on this channel about Derby County, match previews, match day vlogs, things like that. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you go and hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell to stay tuned to those videos. At the minute, we have a squad average age of 27.1 with 24 players as per transfer market. Finished second in League One, only Pompey able to be ahead of us in a long slog of a League One season. Collected 92 points, 28 wins, 8 draws and 10 losses, scoring 78 goals and having the league's best defence with 37. However, we'll get into why that league's best defence is going to be a problem heading into the Championship season. Now, if we do look at the incomings of Derby County, Ibo Adams has joined from Cardiff. We spoke about him just a moment ago. I believe the initial fee is £500,000, can obviously rise. He'll go straight into midfield as one of Derby County's starting players. There's obviously Kenzo Goldmine, who's coming from AZ Alkmaar. The rumoured fee is believed to be £600,000 at 22 years old. We've seen him a couple of times in pre-season. He looks really, really good. A dictator of play and someone who looks like they could have a massive, massive influence on Derby County's season. We then go to other players who came in. Ben Osborne is joined from Sheffield United. Will he play at left wing back? Will he play in central midfield? That's a problem for Paul Warne to deal with. Corey Blackett-Taylor, similar to the Max Bird deal, joined on loan in January and then signed permanently in the summer. Caden Jackson has signed on a free transfer from Ipswich, 30 years old, centre forward. I think he's more of a winger, really. Jerry Yates has signed on loan from Swansea City, and David Ozo has come in from Crystal Palace. It's going to be very interesting. Now, Derby County are set to bring in a whole host of more new players. There's a bunch of loans which Paul Warne's after. There's a goalkeeper in Sweden called Jakob Zetterstrom who is due to join the club, I believe, on the 2nd of August after the European Conference League qualifiers have finished for Djurgården. I believe their final one is on the 1st of August. So He's supposed to be heading to England for a medical today or tomorrow, so it's going to be interesting to see how that one does actually go, if it does end up going through. Now, if we look at the outgoings, there will be a couple more on the outgoing list that I'll talk about. Obviously, Louis Sibley, we'll talk about later down the line, has gone on to join Oxford United from Derby County, fellow Championship club, fellow League One promoted Team 2. He leaves his academy graduation club at Derby to go and play for Des Buckingham. Joe Wildsmith, a goalkeeper who took the most clean sheets in League One last season, decided that he didn't want to renew his contract at Derby County, whether it be financial or whatever. He's decided to move to West Brom on a free transfer, fellow Championship club. Corey Smith has left on a free transfer as well to join Cambridge. And Conor Horahan has joined Barnsley on a player coach role. Dwight Gale, Martin Waghorn and Scott Loach are all without clubs. Scott Loach has retired. Now, there's also Tyrese John Jules, who left at the end of his loan spell. And Elliot Embleton, who I think he left in January, to be honest. He got injured really early on, and we never saw him after that. It's going to be really interesting to see how this one plays out at Derby County, because there's a lot going on at the club. It's a completely new structure to what some people will be used to. Obviously, no more Mel Morris after the administration. David Clowes is fully in charge now, and it's going to be interesting to see how he copes in the Championship. Now we go on to Hull City, sacking Liam Rosenior after finishing 7th last season, and they've brought in Tim Waiter. I don't know if I've spelled that right. You'll have to let me know down in the comments. They play at Stadium MKM. 24.2 years old is the squad average age. They finished on 70 points with 19 wins, 13 draws and 14 losses. 68 goals scored, 60 goals conceded. Now, they're going to have massive problems this season. They've lost a whole host of players, but they have brought in some really, really good transfer fees, so they may be able to replenish the squad, and they have started to do that. They brought in Ryan Giles for £5.5 million from Luton. I believe that was an obligation to buy at the end of his loan spell. 24-year-old left back, but I believe there's been murmurs that he could be moving straight on out of Hull City and moving to Middlesbrough. Whether that will happen or not, I don't know, but it has not happened yet. Cody Drama, right back, 22 from Leeds, has joined on a free transfer. Now, if we look at the outgoings, you're going to see what the big problem is. They've lost Jacob Greaves, one of the best centre-backs in the Championship last season. He's gone to Ipswich for £21.5 million. Jaden Philange, 22-year-old left winger, has gone and rejoined his academy team, Aston Villa, for around £16 million. Ozan Tufan, he's moved on to Transport in Turkey for £2 million. Ryan Alsop has gone to Birmingham in League One for £1 million. Jason Lockillo, he's moved to CSKA Sofia for £400,000. They've also let Adama Traore, Ryan Woods and Greg Doherty go out on free transfers. There's also another host coming in here. Billy Sharp has moved on. Matt Ingram has also moved on. So has Callum Jones, Aaron Connolly, Cyrus Christie, Vaughan Colville and David Robson. Now, they've had so much going on. They've lost an entire... They've probably lost as many players as Derby County have. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they do develop their squad over the course of the season. Obviously, there's going to be loads more transfers for them. Obviously, it's getting tight to the start of the season. They're going to want to get some done ASAP. As I'm recording this, obviously, only the two in at the moment on the 28th of July. Now, on to the next club, which is Leeds United. Daniel Farke. Stadium Ellen Road, 25.6 average age. They finished third last season on 90 points with 27 wins, 9 draws and 10 losses. Scored 81 goals with 43 goals conceded. And were they unlucky in the playoffs? I don't know. But they just didn't turn up on the day and ended up not getting promoted, losing out to Southampton, who went back up to the Premier League. Now, they've brought in an abundance of players. They brought in Joe Rondon, who was on loan last season, and they've brought him in for £12 million. Jayden Bogle has signed from Sheffield United for £6 million. If you remember, the goggles from when there was Spygate going on at Leeds, spying on Derby. Alex Keynes, they've bought in from Salford. I think he'll be third choice. Joe Rothwell has also joined from Bournemouth. We're going to speed through the next few clubs. Outgoings, they've lost Archie Gray for about £45 million to Tottenham Hotspur. Luis Sinistera has joined Bournemouth for £25 million. Glenn Kamara has gone to Stade Rennais for £10 million. Mark Rocker has gone to Real Betis for £4.5 million. Charlie Cresswell, the 21-year-old youngster, has joined Toulouse for £4.5 million. Diego Llorente has joined Real Betis as well as Mark Rocker for £3.25 million. Robin Koch and Cody Drummer leave on free transfers. There is more. Christopher Clarkson leaves on a free transfer. Jamie Shackleton, Luke Ayling, Ian Pavada, and that's it. All leave on free transfers. Then Rasmus Christensen, Sam Greenwood, Darko Gyabi and Sonny Perkins all leave on free transfers. On to the next club now, and it's going to be Luton Town. Now, Rob Edwards did an excellent job with that Luton Town squad that were touted to finish bottom and break Derby County's points record. Yes, the 11 points record, which is never, ever, ever going to be broken. But Luton Town were absolutely mega impressive, really. I really thought they were going to stay up in the end. An average age of 26.8 in their squad. Last season, they finished 18th in the Premier League with 26 points, 6 wins, 8 draws and 24 losses. They scored 52 goals, conceding 85. And I think they could do a job in the Championship. Now, they've only brought in 2 players so far. Rule Walters on a free transfer from Arsenal and Shandon Baptiste from Brentford on a free transfer. 2 players to bolster their squad. Now, they have lost some massive players. They lost Ross Barkley for £6 million, £6 million to Aston Villa. Obviously, Ryan Giles joined Hull City. They've lost Gabriel Osho to Eze Auxor. Can't say that name, I'm really sorry. Free transfer. Luke Berry has gone to Charlton. Jack Walton has joined Dundee on loan. Dion Pereira has gone to Dagenham and Redbridge on loan. And Dan Potts, Fred Onyedema, Admiral Musqui, who knows, and Elliot Thorpe have all left as well. They're all currently without clubs. I think Luton Town are going to be well within that top 6. They're going to be well within the promotion race, in my opinion. Now, if we do go to the next club, it's Middlesbrough. Michael Carrick is the manager there at the Riverside Stadium with a squad average age of 25.8 years old. Last season, they finished in 8th position with 69 points, 20 wins, 9 draws and 17 losses, 71 goals scored and 62 goals conceded. Michael Carrick will be hoping to break into that playoff picture next season. They were slightly in it this year, but they were just a little bit too far away. Now, if we do look at their incoming so far, they've brought in Aidan Morris from Columbus in the MLS, the 22-year-old central midfielder, for around £4 million. They've also brought in Delano Bergzorg from Mainz over in the Bundesliga for £2.5 million. They've also brought in Luke Ayling on a free transfer. If we then go to the outgoings, they've let Paddy McNair go on a free transfer. Same with Liam Roberts and Jamie Jones. Paddy McNair has gone to San Diego FC. Liam Roberts has gone to Millwall and Jamie Jones has joined Salford. Hayden Coulson has gone and joined Blackpool. Sam Silvera, the left winger, the Australian left winger. Pompey have a thing for Australian left wingers, and he has joined Portsmouth. Now, on to the next team, and that is Millwall. Neil Harris is the manager there. They play in the Den. At 27.1 years old for the squad average age, he'll be looking to drop that a little bit. Last season, they finished in 13th place on 59 points. 16 wins, 11 draws, and 19 losses. They scored 45 goals, conceded 55. They'll be looking to score more and concede less, as is obvious within the Championship. Now, if we do look at their incomings, they've brought in Macaulay Longstaff to try and score more goals for this team. They've also brought in Jaffa Tanganga from Tottenham. That'll be a very, very interesting deal. They've also brought in Liam Roberts from Middlesbrough and Lucas Jensen from Lincoln City. 2 very interesting deals. I really wonder who is going to be the number 1 out of those 2. But they've also let a couple of players go, with Alex Mitchell joining Charlton and Bartosz Bilakowski leaving on a free transfer. Now we go on to Norwich City. Johannes Thorpe is their new manager at Carrow Road. After failing to get through the playoffs versus Leeds, they decided it was time for a change. And with a squad average age of 25.6 and finishing 6th in the league last year with 73 points, 21 wins, 10 draws and 15 losses. They scored 79 goals and conceded 64, but it just wasn't enough in the end to get past their playoff semi-final competitors, and they'll be looking to go one step further this season and hopefully get fully promoted back to the Premier League. Now, if we do go and take a look at their incomings, they've brought in Jose Cordoba from Levski Sofia for £3.5 million. He's a 23-year-old centre-back. They've also brought up Jaden Warner from their under-21 squad. If we do look at the outgoings, they've let go of Christos Solis, who's 22, for £3.5 million to Dusseldorf. Jan Lewis, the left back, has gone to Augsburg on a free transfer. Ben Gibson, Sam McCullum, Joe McCracken and Danny Bath have also all left on free transfers. We now get into another newly promoted side in Oxford United. Des Buckingham has the reins there. He took over when Liam Manning moved on to Bristol City. They play at the Kassam Stadium. At a squad average age of 25.5. Last season they finished 5th, but came out victorious in a tactical masterclass versus Bolton in the League One playoff final. They picked up 77 points with 22 wins, 11 draws and 13 losses. 79 goals scored, 56 conceded, and I do have to tell you, I did not think they'd get promoted. They had a really, really poor second half of the season and almost dropped out of the playoffs entirely to an onrushing Lincoln City, and Blackpool were in the hunt as well at times, and Oxford were really, really lucky to get into the playoffs, and I was really, really impressed with their performance in the playoff final. Obviously, if there's any Oxford fans watching, let me know your thoughts down in the comments on your transfer window. Obviously, you've brought in a player I know really well in Louis Sibley, 22 years old, a brilliant player for Derby. Over the course of his career, obviously came through the academy here as a number 10, ended up playing left wing back under Paul Warne and not really getting into the squad like he wanted to. I assume he'll be playing midfield under Des Buckingham though. You've also brought in Peter Kioso from Rotherham for £820,000. Jack Curries came in from Wimbledon for around £500,000. Idris El Missouri has came in from Ipswich for £450,000. You've also brought in Plaqueta from Swansea, Jamie Cunningham, Will Vault and Jacob Knightbridge and Matt Ingram have all come in on free transfers. It is going to be interesting to see how this does develop with Oxford, because they've got a long, long way to go. And if their performances are anything to go by in League One, they might struggle in the Championship. Now, looking at the outgoings, Josh Murphy has joined Championship rival Portsmouth. Billy Bowden has gone to Burton Albion. Ozin Smythe has joined St Mirren. Stephen, not saying that surname, has joined Salford. Jacob Knightbridge has joined Braintree. Steve Seddon, Marcus Brown and James Henry are all currently without a club but left on free transfers. Plymouth Argyle have hired Wayne Rooney, and this could be a really, really interesting one. Obviously, a lot of talk over the back end of last season about Morgan Whittaker potentially moving on. He has not done that yet, and they play at home park. With a squad average age of 24.4, they finished 24th last year with 51 points. There was only actually like 15 points away from the playoffs, which is like crazy. 15, 16 points, something like that. Might have actually been a bit more. Might be 20 something. But yeah, it's only like 4 or 5, 6 wins, 7, 8. Who knows? Who cares? 13 wins, 13 draws, 21 losses for Plymouth Argyle. 59 goals scored, 70 goals conceded. And their transfer window is going to be massive if they can keep hold of Morgan Whittaker. They've brought in a centre-back from KIAS, Eupen on a free transfer, Victoria Palson. They've brought in Nathaniel Ogbeta from Swansea. Darko Gyabi has joined on loan from Leeds. Ibrahim Sissoko has joined from Toulouse on loan. Mohamed Tijani, the centre-forward from Slavia Prague, has also joined on loan. And they've also pulled up a couple of players from their under-18 squad. Now, if we do look at the outgoings, they've let go of Mikael Miller, who's gone and joined Huddersfield Town. Callum Burton has joined Wrexham. Tarek Wright has gone to Bradford. And then Zach Baker has gone to Plymouth Parkway. Oscar Halls and Jack Encott are now without a squad. We look now at Portsmouth, the third and final promoted team. John Massinio from Fratton Park is where they play their game, 25.8 squad average age. Last season, they were League One champions, finishing top of the pile with 97 points, 28 wins, 13 draws and 5 losses, 78 goals scored and 41 goals conceded. And they've had a fairly okay transfer window so far. Jordan Williams, Josh Murphy, Jordan Archer, Jacob Farrell, Ruben Swan and Sam Silvera have all joined the club. But they have lost a few, with Joe Rafferty, Sean Raggett, Lee Evans, Max Macy, Jack Sparks, Toby Stewart, all leaving for pastures new, as well as a bunch of other players. Now, if we do look into Portsmouth, it's going to be very interesting to see how they do. They've got a fairly decent style under John Massinio, but they've got a long way to go, just like both the other promoted clubs. There's a long way to go if they want to battle for survival. Now, if we do look at the next team, it's Preston North End, and Ryan Lowe takes charge there at Deepdale, and 25 squad average age. Last season, they finished 10th with 63 points, 18 wins, 9 draws and 19 losses. 56 goals scored, 67 goals conceded in the Championship, but they were a comfortable mid-table side. About 5-10 points away from the playoffs. They'll be hoping to go one step further, but it's obviously really difficult in the Championship to do that. Now, looking at the incomings, they've bought in Stefan Thordarson from Silkeborg in Denmark, a central midfielder for about £850,000. A player Derby County were interested in. They've also bought in Sam Greenwood from Leeds on loan, and I still think they need a bit more if they want to be challenging at the top end of the Championship this season. It's going to be very interesting to see how that one does develop. Outgoings-wise, they've bought in Alan Brown. They've let go of Alan Brown. He's gone to Sunderland. Ben Woodburn has joined Salford. Greg Cunningham has gone to Galway United. Lewis Lee and Patrick Bauer have also both left the club. Now, Queen's Park Rangers, Marty Cifuentes at Loftus Road, 25.9 squad average age. 18th they finished last season with 56 points, 15 wins, 11 draws and 20 losses, 71 goals scored and 62 goals conceded. Now, they've bought in some players already, with Zansalar, 25 years old, from Lugano, signing for £2 million. They've also bought in Paul Nardi from Genk. They've bought in Haverton from Estrela in Portugal. Liam Morrison and Daniel Benny have joined. Liam Morrison has come from FC Bayern's second team, and Daniel Benny has come from Perth Glory. Now, if we do look at their outgoings, Sinclair Armstrong has to be the one that stands out. £3 million for a forward who isn't really that good, in my opinion, but it will be interesting to see how he develops. Obviously, only 21 years old. He's got a long way to go. Andre Dazelle, Osman Kake, Asmir Begovic and Aaron Drew have all left the club on free transfers. You've also got a bunch of other players who have left, like Albert Adoma, Jordan Archer, Chris Willock, all leaving QPR this summer for pastures new. We get on now to the back end of this video. We've got, I don't know, probably 5 more clubs, probably more than that. I've got no idea what club I'm on. Chris Wilder is in charge at Sheffield United, and it says Bramble Lane. I don't know why. It's Bramble Lane, also correct. 24.6 squad average age, 20th in the Premier League. They finished 16 points. They were just 5 points away from equaling our record. So disappointed. 35 goals scored, 104 goals conceded. They need to get many more goals in their team if they want to do anything in the Championship this season. Now, if we look at their incomings, they've started to look at doing that, bringing in Kiefer Moore, Crellum O'Hare. They're 2 attacking players who will provide a lot for the club. They've also brought in Harrison Burrows at left back. I think he's going to be a mega signing. It says it's cost them around £3.5 million. It will be interesting to find out the real fee in a few years' time when they obviously sell him on for probably £30 million. Because that always seems to happen for Peterborough. Then they get the sell-on fee and then they go again. But they've also brought in Jamie Shackleton and Sam McCullum from Leeds and Norwich respectively. And they've brought up Sam Curtis from their under-21 side. Now, Going out is an interesting one. Cameron Archer's moved on for £16.5 million back to Aston Villa. Jayden Bogle has gone to Leeds for £6 million. Bernard Toure has gone to FC Basel for £4.5 million. Ollie McBurney's gone to Las Palmas. George Baldock, Panathinaikos. Max Lowe's gone to Sheffield Wednesday. Ben Osborne has joined Derby County. Dan Jefferson has gone to Bournemouth. Wes Foderingham has joined West Ham, and they've let John Egan, Chris Basham, Oliver Norwood and Jordan Amisa go for free. And they're going to be in a difficult spot this season, in my opinion. They've got some really good players, but I do think they're going to be in a very, very difficult spot. Now, the next club is Sheffield Wednesday. Danny Rowell is in charge there at Hillsborough. 26.7 squad average age. Last season they finished in 20th position with 53 points, 44 goals scored and 68 goals conceded. They started off awfully last season, but Danny Rowell came in and saved the day, kept them up, and has been rewarded with a new contract for that. And let's see what he can do this upcoming campaign. Now, if we look at their incomings, they've brought in Olaf Kabacki from Poland for £600,000. They brought in Jan Valery from Angers for £475,000. Max Lowe's joined on a free transfer. Jamal Lowe has joined on a free transfer. So has Nathaniel Chalobah, Savante Ingleson, Ben Hamer, Charlie McNeil and James Beadle. They've all joined on free transfers. James Beadle is a loan transfer. My apologies. Outgoing wise, Will Vaulks has joined Oxford United. Juan Delgado has gone to CD Everton in Chile. Cameron Dawson has gone to Rotherham. Tyreek Backinson has gone to Wickham. I believe he was on loan there last season. George Byers is at Port Vale. Reece James is at Rotherham now. Lee Gregory has gone to Mansfield Town. And Kieran Brennan has gone to Newport County. Now we're on to Stoke. Stephen Schumacher is the manager there. He left Plymouth a few years ago to join Stoke City at the Bet365 Stadium. They have a squad average age of 26.1. They finished 17th last year on 56 points, 15 wins, 11 draws, 20 losses, 49 goals scored and 60 goals conceded. Now they have had a fairly decent transfer window to start off with. They bought in Victor Johansson really early doors for £1 million from Rotherham. Really good goalkeeper at this level. Apparently, according to data, was the best keeper in the league. I think it's really difficult to judge because he was at Rotherham. So it'll be more interesting to see him now at arguably a better club. They bought in Eric Junior Bocat from Belgium. Ben Gibson joined on a free transfer. And Wikor Gromek has joined from Lecce in Italy. Now, we go on to the outgoings. They've let go of Tom Edwards on a free transfer. Demario Wright-Phillips has moved to Belgium. Tyrese Campbell, Wesley Morales, Kieran Clark and Nuku have all left the club and currently are without clubs. Tyrese Campbell, ring Paul Warren, please. Sunderland have brought in their new manager. It's Regis Liberis. He is the manager at the Stadium of Light with an average age squad of 22.8 years old. 16th they finished last season, 56 points, 71 goals, 62 conceded. They're a very young side, and you can tell they seem to have gone down this avenue of really young players all the time, develop players, move them on, develop, move them on, and Joe Bellingham is a staple of that. They bought him in from Birmingham City. He's now touting Premier League interest. There was talk of a move this summer to Crystal Palace, but that hasn't quite materialised yet. So it'll be interesting to see if he stays at the Stadium of Light till the end of the window. But if we look at the moves they've already started to make, Alan Brown has come in, Ian Poveda has come in, and Simon Moore. I think they're trying to add a bit of experience. Ian Poveda coming in from Leeds on a free transfer, Derby County, and Sheffield Wednesday were interested in bringing him in. But if we look at the outgoings, Jack Diamond has moved on to Stockport. Ellis Taylor has gone to Harrogate Town. Alex Bass, Notts County. Nathan Bishop has joined Wickham on loan. Bradley Dack and Corey Evans have left the club and currently do not have a new one. We go on to Swansea City now, and their manager is Luke Williams. He joined mid-season from Notts County, and they play at the Swansea.com Stadium. They have a squad average age of 25.5 with 24 players in their squad. They finished 14th last season on 57 points, 15 wins, 12 draws and 19 losses. 59 goals scored and 65 goals conceded. They'll be looking to push themselves up the league. They've already let a few players go. They've also bought in a couple already. Shall we get into talking about them? They've bought in Goncalo Franco from Portugal for £2.1 million. Ji Sung Eom has joined from, I want to say that's Korea. I apologise if I've got that wrong. I think the K-League's Korea for £1 million. And they've also brought in Lawrence Vigouroux from Burnley. They've also let go of a bunch, with Nathan Wood joining Southampton and returning to Russell Martin's squad for £3.5 million. They've let Plaqueta go to Oxford United. Ogbeta has gone to Plymouth. Jerry Yates has joined Derby County on loan. And Liam Walsh is currently without a club. Watford, they have Tom Cleverley at the helm at Vicarage Road. 24.8 average age. They finished 15th last season. Not the season they were wanting. Obviously, they're a club who will be really hoping to get back to the Premier League soon. But they only picked up 56 points with 61 goals scored and 61 conceded. They'll be hoping for much more in this campaign. They've brought in a range of players already, with Rocco Avata, the 19-year-old, joining from Celtic. Moussa Sissoko has joined on a free transfer from FC Nantes. Mamadou Doumbia, the 18-year-old, has joined from Black Stars in Mali. Antonio Tikvik has joined from Udinese, and Jonathan Bond has joined from being a free transfer. Now, we look on to their outgoings. They've let go of Ismail Kone, who has joined Marseille for £12 million. Ashley Fletcher has joined Blackpool on a free transfer. Ben Hamer has gone to Sheffield Wednesday, and Jake Livermore is without a club. Watford will be hoping that they can do much, much more this season. You can let me know your thoughts on them down in the comments. I'm really intrigued to hear what you think. I've always seen Watford as one of the better teams in the Championship, but ultimately that was not the case last season. West Brom, Carlos Corberán, they'll be hoping to go one step further and get promoted this season with a squad average age of 26.7. They finished 5th last year with 75 points, 70 goals scored and 47 goals conceded. They've already started to make a few moves, brought in Hegem, the centre-back, from Sweden for £600,000. They've brought in Diakate from Hartberg in the Bundesliga. They've also brought in Joe Wildsmith, Derby County's #1, on a free transfer, as well as Paddy McNair has joined on loan. Outgoing wise, Cedric Kipre has left on a free transfer. Nathaniel Chalobah has also left on a free transfer. Ethan Ingram has also left on a free transfer. Zach Ashworth has also left on a free transfer, as well as Jan Mvia, Adam Reach, Matt Phillips, Eric Peters and Martin Kelly. Josh Griffiths is the only one who has moved out on loan. Now, if you have got to this point of the video, let me know down in the comment section. We've gone through all of the Championship squads, talking about their incomings and outgoings as of the 28th of July. It's going to be really interesting to see how this season does develop. I'm getting a real good picture of what I think my predictions are going to be as of right now. Obviously, clubs are still looking to do business, and I think it's about the right time. We're about 2 weeks away from the start of the season. I'm going to get my predictions up and ready for you lot on Tuesday, so make sure you stay tuned to that, and I'll catch you in my next video. Make sure to go and find me on TikTok, pictured here, and Twitter, pictured here. These are the places where I'll keep you all up to date with all my upcoming videos and my thoughts and feelings around the Formula 1 and football weekend.